Hello everybody and welcome to episode 18 of Viewer Replay Analysis. This one was sent in by Greywalker here on the Abathur. Oh, I have sound muted. Let me fix that problem real quick. And yeah, we'll just go over everything normal. It's a pretty good map for Abathur. He said it was QM though, so not like he picked it, but it is a decent map for Abathur in general. So, going into this, we have Abathur. Just going over teams, rather. We have Abathur, Kel'Thuzad, Lucio, Junkrat, Abathur. So, not a ton of frontline. And on the other side, we have Zarya, Zul'jin, Greymane, Zero Tool, Ana. So, it is a QM, so not a whole lot of frontline on either side. But that being said, Zarya's going to go for the Q build and not actually try and be that frontline tank like they're going to need. Or like you would want in a normal-ish comp. Junkrat heads straight to the bottom lane right away, which is not bad. He can kind of get set up and do a little bit of damage, clear the wave out pretty quick, and force a rotation. We have Headhunter on Zul'jin, which is a very ballsy choice against a Abathur. I really like Headhunter, but only on when I'm very confident I can complete it, which against an Abathur is almost never. Greymane is going to go for the regular old cocktail build, and Zero Tool for the standard Vorpal Blade, as well as Ana on the standard kind of piercing darts build. I probably wouldn't change any of these three. Those are all pretty similar, pretty standard. Nothing wrong there. Silver Touch on Abathur is going to be going for a Holy Shock, which is good with a double support. Get your Holy Shock on. Blighted Frost is a very bad talent level 1 for Kel'Thuzad. I say this every single time. E is better than W at level 1 at all points in the game. Whoopsies. E is so good at level 1. Take the chains at level 1. The minus armor will always be more beneficial than the small damage you get from Frost Nova. Especially later on, once you are hitting chains onto spikes and stuff. Your combo does so much more damage with the E talent level 1 than Blighted Frost. We Move Together is okay on Lucio. I much prefer Accelerando. This isn't a great map for it. There's some okay spots around kind of the turn-in area here and here that you can hop back and forth on with Accelerando, but that being said, We Move Together is not bad. Put some English on it is a fairly standard Junkrat. It's kind of my go-to, and Abathur is not chosen yet, so we'll get on to that. Getting one free stack off of the Zero Tool. But Abathur just trying to stack himself up as well as Zul'jin. He's missing a couple. Hat's gonna sit on Abathur for a while here. Make sure he can stay up. We have the increased range. We have W on 1 for Abathur, which is more of a fighty kind of. You would see this normally on something like Illidan with hard carry. Junkrat gonna miss all of his abilities. Zero Tool could probably kill him and get out, but I'm not gonna go for it. You see this generally more like an Illidan, someone like that, someone huge in the front line who wants to eat a ton of damage, or is going to do a ton of damage and be sticky to people. That being said, Kel'Thuzad getting a couple more stacks. I'm sorry for my dogs in the background. Right here, so red team, they might be able to get away with running a rotation to mid and top. I'm really sorry about those dogs in the background. Good lord, they are excited, apparently. Junkrat can hold down bottom by himself fairly consistently. Don't really need to worry about him. These three might be able to rotate back and forth with Kel'Thuzad clearing waves before anything too crazy happens. Abathur is trying to sit in mid and get those stacks, but that doesn't mean they're going to leave some XP gone in top lane unless Abathur completely only sits top and does it. Which is not what you want to do as an Abathur. You want to be hatting around, doing your thing. Zarya is a pretty good choice for Silver Touch. Kel'Thuzad taking a lot of damage there, unfortunately. If Greywalker, I'd like him to be a little bit closer to the wall here. You might get tagged by Greymane thing, but you can body soak this wave, which is the important thing. You can body soak the wave and then hat somewhere else. Kel'Thuzad getting some decent stacks going. Nothing too amazing, but he's doing alright so far. Zero Tool gonna go take his camp. Unfortunately, the red team doesn't really have any great camp takers. You can kind of do it on Junkrat. You can kind of do it on Kel'Thuzad. but it's not super safe. This should be a dead Zarya though. She got really aggressive there. Oh, maybe not. Maybe just Greymane. Kel'Thuzad missing his combos, unfortunately. Gonna try and hit down on the combo instead of killing these two up here, which would have been probably the safer bet, and actually probably could have gotten those kills. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to laning. They are ahead on XP now because Abathur are getting that value top, as well as Junkrat in bottom lane, while Zeratul went out to clear the camp. Nothing too crazy though. Nothing super crazy going on right now. Junkrat getting out of bottom lane. There might be one dead Greymane. It should be a dead Greymane actually, with the especially with the Abathur hat on there. Abathur does end up going down as well, but that's pretty worth it for red team considering they have global presence out of the Abathur. Any trade is good as long as you're not losing a ton. Yeah. So red team is gonna go ahead and get 7 coins turned in. Blue team has enough to turn in. Again, I would probably like you to be around here, or like somewhere near a wall so you could body soak this, as well as hatting somewhere else if you needed to. But getting the hat XP is not terrible as well. You just have to be, makes you use a hat for that lane instead of just your body. Abathur gonna come up top. This personal barrier on Zarya is down, but I still don't think you can get that kill. Level 4, we've got Give Me 20, which is pretty standard on Zarya, especially on a map like Blackheart's Bay where you can run top and bottom. This is my general go-to build on Zarya. I don't know if I would necessarily do it if I was a solo tank, but it is quick match, so kind of whatever at some point. Money Rage is excellent on Zul'jin, going for Cocktail at 4, then him, Combo Slash, and Overdose, all fairly standard. I'm not a huge fan of Overdose since the change, but there's not a great alternative at 4 for Ana right now, so still not too bad. Holy Shock on Abathur, which we expected out of the Silver Touch at 1. We have Kel'Thuzad going Armor of the Archlich. I'm going to scoot over here for just a second while I keep talking. Armor of the Archlich on Kel'Thuzad is okay against heroes like Zul'jin, Greymane, and Zeratul. They are pretty divey, and it is going to give him the physical armor that he should need to stay alive through that. I don't know if Phylactery would have been the choice here. I think the armor is actually probably the correct one here. I normally would say Phylactery is the go-to, but against all this physical damage and all this dive, Armor of the Archlich has got to be pretty good. Off the wall on Lucio, if you're not going to go for Accelerando, off the wall seems like kind of a weird choice, because if you're not confident in your ability to stay near walls, then I wouldn't go for the off the wall at 4, but it is what it is. Taste for Explosion is kind of the general go-to on Junkrat. I am finding myself liking the Trap talent, the Steel Trap talent a lot at 4 personally. I've gotten a lot of use out of the triple traps that you can get when that quest is complete, which is pretty excellent. Then we have Ballisto Spores, which is increased global range on spores. Generally, you see Ballisto Spores when you go for the Locust talent at once. You can get some huge split pushing on late in the game, but he's not going to go for that. He's instead gonna, or generally you would also go for the another hat talent if you went for a hat talent at 1. So kind of a mixed bag here, but again, it's quick match. It happens sometimes. Kel'Thuzad should be able to get that combo. Doesn't use his W though. He's saving a lot of mana by not using stuff like W, but missing out on a lot of kills for it as well. But nothing too crazy going on. 7's coming in right now. Everyone just kind of poking. Blue team does get a turn in, but Junkrat saves himself and the Zul'jin at the same time. He's got to be able to get out of there. Should probably just stay if he has Lucio healing him. Okay, he did. Abathur might be in a little trouble at bottom lane, but a pretty good couple of chains from Kel'Thuzad stops that right in its tracks. Pings the Abathur to show him, hey, you're kind of out of here. You're out in the open here in top lane. He's going to go hide in the bush. It's an excellent Abathur skin, by the way. I love that skin so much. Abathur going to go ahead and head bottom lane. Kel'Thuzad getting a combo. He's still at 24 stacks, not quite there. But Abathur, this frontline Abathur, man, especially with the hat, is just going to try and take these down. Greymane unfortunately misses his cocktail. We probably could have gotten that kill onto Abathur. But as is, that is one dead Greymane. bottom lane, Junkrat plus the Abathur hat is going to go ahead and take down the Zeratul as well. So blue team, or red team, is actually getting some pretty good value out of their global presence with Abathur and just dueling people. 7, we have pinpoint accuracy, which is pretty good if you're going to go for demo expert. We have Arcanite Axes, which is standard. Incendiary, standard. Secret in the Dark, fairly standard. Blindness, I wouldn't say is standard, and I don't really like it on this team. You don't have anybody that relies on auto attacks too much onto the red team. So that I don't agree with on Anna, but hey, it looks pretty. They're all the same icon. Uther gonna go for Armor of Faith, which is okay, but they have exactly 1 stun, and it's Anna. The only thing that counts as a stun, root, or silence on their team, and that's Anna. And so I don't really like this talent personally. But again, they look pretty and they all look the same, I guess. Chilling Touch on Kel'Thuzad, I would say, is a very bad talent personally. But it has its use if you go for the Power of the Ice Crown later on. I just don't think that's a very good use personally. I much prefer having the Spike option for comboing people outside of lane and or having another person there. Party Mix on Lucio is fairly standard. It's a pretty good ability. Tricky Shuffle is also fairly standard on Junkrat if you're going for the Taste for Explosions, kind of sit back and launch explosions people constantly build. Like I said, I'm liking the Steel Trap talent at 4, which I would go Big As at 7, which gives you the huge traps with more damage and more radius. And that just gives you a lot of AoE. Like, you can put 3 of those down and you're pretty hard to kill. And then Needle Spine on Abathur, gonna go again for another hat talent to try and hat some of this frontline Uther and see if he can't win these trades. Zul'jin stacking alright at 19 stacks. Kel'Thuzad at 28 stacks now. 29, I lied. So that's doing pretty well for him. He's gonna hit. I like to say, if you get your stacks down on Kel'Thuzad before level 10, you're in a pretty good spot. That should be... He doesn't have the Spike, though. He does finish his quest, though, which is going to get him a lot of damage in this fight, but he might go down to the Zeratul right now. Which he does. That being said, Junkrat going to turn in, get that turn-in started. And get this moving on. So they're going to hit 10 off of the turn-in, which is going to kill these walls and get them that global XP. So slight ability advantage on red team, but blue team's going to hit 10 before it really matters and there's a big team fight. We have Divine Storm, Frost Blast, Sound Barrier, Rocket Ride, and Ultimate Evolution. Ultimate Evolution's the way to go here. Definitely, you're going to need some more damage. You can clone a Kel'Thuzad, probably. Or even clone an Uther for some more heals to make sure somebody stays alive. Might be one dead Junkrat. Maybe? Nope. He has the Vorpal Blade. Is going to get that kill. But Frost Blast on Kel'Thuzad I generally don't like. He's kind of going for a weird CC oriented build, which is not Kel'Thuzad's strong point in my opinion. It's mostly his burst combo that just 100 to 0 somebody. Sound Barrier is excellent choice for Lucio, especially against all of the burst coming out of the blue team. Rocket Ride's alright. I'm much preferring Riptire, but again, I'm going for kind of a different style of play than this guy is. Guillotine gonna miss, as you just saw there. We saw the Graviton Surge out of Zarya, which also missed. Frost Blast coming in. Gotta root that Anna. It's not gonna get that kill because VP's gonna come out actually. Go for the throat and a Vorpal or Void Prison, and then I have Horus on the Anna, not going for an Nano boosted Zeratul or a Nano boosted Zarya or anything like that. At least Frost Blast will hit, I guess. Yeah. I guess you're right. How you doing next? But that being said, that was a pretty good fight on red team side. Blue just missed all of their big abilities except for the VP. And with Eye of Horus, they can't really capitalize on a VP either. So not a ton for blue team to do after they whiff the Guillotine and whiff the Graviton completely. Also, the Chilling Touch on 7 for Kel'Thuzad gives him some more wave clear, but he already has extremely good wave clear in his queue, so it's not my favorite talent. Abathur went down up here. He was getting a little cheeky in that. in that bush, staying up there a little bit too long. Zeratul just came up and sniped him. That's the bad part about playing against the Zeratul against the Stealthy right now, is at least until these changes go through, what give for it. Oh, actually, Graviton getting used bottom, but he has 0 follow-up and an Eye of Horus on. If he had Nano Boost, they might have been able to wipe that with all of the grenades coming out, but they just don't have enough. That being said, this is a huge flank coming in on the blue team, or on the red team from the blue team. VP not going to get dropped. I was thinking VP could be... VP's there, but it is late. He does get away from the Chattering Trap, but he definitely could have walked in and VP'd, and they could have capitalized on that for sure. For 13s, we've got Blessed Champion on Abathur, which is fairly standard if you're going to go for a holy shot kind of frontline build. Chains of Ice, which is pretty standard on Kel'Thuzad as well. Back in the mix is alright, but they have exactly one way to proc it with the Ana, so I don't know about that one. I guess Time Stop also applies to Zeratul, so I think it does. So I guess that's okay though. That's not great. Chattering Teeth is the steel trap that follows people, which is a pretty good talent. I kind of like it. I don't actually go for that talent when I go for my build. There's a Frost Blast. He's still gonna die because he didn't get it past his structure, unfortunately. Red team's gonna take a couple of their camps on the way out. Facial Efficiency is another dart talent for Abathur. Gonna go for all that hat damage. That could be a dead Zarya. He's gonna pop that. Rocket Ride comes out as well as the Graviton. He gets a little scared and tries to exit with the Graviton or with the Rocket Ride, unfortunately, and that means that this is gonna be one dead Abathur. He does get the kill on the Zarya, but not great. Not a great trade. On blue team side, we have Unstoppable Competitor, which gives Zarya Unstoppable. It's a pretty good talent, generally just kind of very strong to give yourself Unstoppable for 2 seconds on demand. Lacerate's fairly standard on Zul'jin. He only has 6 stacks on Arcanine Axes. Greymaine's sitting at a pretty 0 stacks on his Cocktail Quest. We have a Mist Guillotine, Visceral Attacks, coming out from Greymane. Bending Strikes on Zeratul, Speed Serum on Ana. Speed Serum's pretty standard. I don't like this talent as much on 13. It's okay, but I much prefer the range at 13, and then Mending Strikes is fine on Zeratul. I don't know. I'm not a huge Zeratul person either. So blue team's gonna get a turn in, red team's gonna hit 16 before blue, so they can try and hit 16 and force a fight right now. If you force an objective, well, all of their ults are gonna be up. Rocket Ride's down, but that's not a huge thing. Frost Blast coming in from downtown is gonna get the kill onto Greymane, but not much else. The Zarya gets booped over by the Junkrat, but they're gonna kind of leave him alone. Abathur sitting in the middle of 3 people, doing his holy shock thing. Swinging a miss on another guillotine. VP dropped. Kel'Thuzad should probably not walk towards them. Okay, he's not going to. I was gonna say, I worry for Kel'Thuzad's health if he walks at them. Unstoppable makes the Zarya not affected by that Junkrat trap, which is pretty good. But he's gonna go down anyway, and the Zeratul stakes around too long. I don't know if I agree with that Rocker Ride necessarily, but it happened. On 16 we have Gain Train, which is a pretty standard, like, decent talent for Zarya. I kind of prefer the cooldowns there, but that's personal preference. Wrong Place, Wrong Time is very good on Zul'jin. Alpha Killer is decent on Greymane, but they don't have any huge HP tanks to, like, auto attack with that talent, so I don't really agree with it. Let's see if they could kill him. Sentence to Death is fairly standard on Zeratul, as well as Contact Healing is not, I would say, the standard go-to on Ana. I forget what she has at 16 though. I can't remember off the top of my head that you normally go for. Beacon of Light is pretty good, but it makes him use the heal part and not Holy Shock, which is kind of antithetical to anti-synergy to how you want to play this build. Power of Ice Crown is going to be what he goes for, with kind of the Frost Blast, Chilling Touch, Armor of the Artillery, trying to slow as many people as possible to give himself spell power. But he has He's kind of missing combos, so he's not getting a lot of value out of that spell power. But yeah, this is a brawl where you try to pick the worst talents. I wish. Rejuvenescencia on Lucio is fairly standard, but they don't have any high HP tanks to use that on, so I don't know if I agree with it necessarily. Spread Volley is fairly good on Junkrat, just kind of a standard go-to. Nothing wrong with Spread Volley. I really like all of his 13 or 16 talents. Honestly, they're all pretty good in their own way. And then Adrenaline Boost on Abathur is another hat talent. Anna's sticking out way too far. She could easily die to a Junkrat. Lucio gonna break it down on himself. Greymane getting the slow walk of death. This is the perfect time for a guillotine if he didn't waste it a second ago. He could have cleared all three of those people if he had guillotine up still. But it is what it is. He does have his stacks out. Obviously, you saw the second use of the twin cleave. Junkrat gonna use Rocket Ride to little effect. Uther being manly in 1v3ing, or attempting to 1v3. VP goes down, which is quite the choice. Abathur hat still stays on you through VP, so not a lot gonna happen here. And that actually kind of helps him with the time stop effect, I think. They are gonna die, because the Abathur hat plus the cooldown reduction on Holy Chalk Uther is gonna let you kind of do whatever you want. They die to the he dies to the Total Mayhem grenades on Junkrat. And Anna's gonna get chased down. Oh, never mind, Anna did not get chased down. He's gonna go turn in instead. It's also not a bad choice. This is pretty clowny though. Pretty all over the place. Anna decides to, I would say, auto attack in the wrong place and probably just gonna get picked off. Does VP count as a stun? It says and time stop, no, it doesn't. I lied. That's this one that I was talking about, time stop effects. VP might not count. It's a stop, not a stun. I was thinking of the back in the mix that I remember reading time stop effects, but I think it was on the wrong thing. I might have lied to you. I'm sorry. Next. Blue team takes their bottom siege camp, but it's not going to be super effective as red team just kind of cleared out instantly and hit 20, and then they can kind of do whatever they want for a level. That was the first decent twin cleave I've seen out of this Zul'jin, but nothing to capitalize on out of it, unfortunately. Okay. There's a lot of mines here. They're gonna walk in through hell of an area to try and get to this fight. They are 20 though. They can easily take this fight. Blue team is stepping up where they really shouldn't be. Unfortunately, Junkrat saves that Zarya for a little bit. It's a very dead Zul'jin with the Frost Blast. Cozy charge coming out of KT. Shifting Malice. I really like Shifting Malice actually. It's a pretty fun talent. But yeah, they easily wipe that team fight up with the 20 talent advantage. Blinks over the, what's it called? He doesn't have a spike to go though. He had a spike to go to, he might have been able to get that kill. A double hat coming out of Abathur as well. Puckish Scamp coming out of Junkrat for the low cooldown on his ult. Still doesn't do much against the structures. It's not quite as broken as it was on PTR. Oh, I was confused. I forgot there was 2 Kaltazats. And that's gonna do it. Pretty good play. They had a decent XP advantage the whole time from the Abathur. Getting that XP, getting those hats, and the full hat build on like a frontline Uther makes them extremely hard to kill actually. I might prefer to see the heal here if you're gonna go for kind of a hat build. But no real complaints. That went well. So that's gonna do it. I'll actually let you get that victory screen in. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of episode 18, of Fury Play Analysis. Greywalker gets the MVP. But that is gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time.